Welcome back to another episode of From My Perspective. I'm your boy Dion coming back to you live. Thank you again for joining us for another episode. Please go ahead and hit that like button. We looked at the numbers. It's like 60% of you guys that listen to us aren't subscribed. Please subscribe so you can get that notification of when we drop. I know we be dropping usually at the same time every week. We consistent like unlike some other podcasts, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We might accidentally drop on a Tuesday or something. You never know. Something might happen in the NBA world, like somebody crazy get traded like Luka did last year. Just hit that subscribe button so you get the notification. Go ahead, go ahead and hit that like button already. But you guys know I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Captain Hater Q. How you doing?
Man, you already know the best. It's your boy, Mr. Bell, aka can't say your name up on this pod. Might not with you tomorrow. What's going on, Dion?
It's going good. I know you know who else is doing good? Drew McIntyre. That man is finally holding a world title, not only in front of crowds, but for longer than 5 minutes. But he's got a world title. He shockingly defeated Cody Rhodes in the three stages of the Hell match with a little accidental help from Jacob Fatu. Shockingly, because for what the past since Roman has had that title, it seemed like that title was never going to get that never changed hands unless it was a not just any PLE but a big PLE, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. That's the only time that thing has changed hands. It changed hands on a random SmackDown overseas. So it came out early because it happened earlier in the day, so people knew about it before it actually went live at 8. But Drew McIntyre, he is the world WWE World Champion right now. What was your reaction? I know you got the notification, you saw it. I'm pretty sure you saw the clip of Jacob Fatu and how it ended.
So I saw Drew sleeping with the title. That's how I found out that he won the title before the actual. And then I get on Facebook, and then it ain't number post after post of Drew just be Cody Rhodes, and then I'm like, bro, it's 2 in the afternoon. Like, what are we doing? Then I had forgot that they were overseas. So it did. I kept looking. I'm going to the WWE page. Ain't no real announcement. I'm like, what's going on? And then I guess I closed it out, opened it back up, saw another app, and it was like, oh, I mean, another page where it's like, okay, yeah, they over. I saw that they was overseas. I was reminded that they was overseas. So like you said, my instant reaction was, I was surprised because of like when it happened. Because like you said, that title don't really be changing hands like that. That's a WrestleMania SummerSlam exclusive. It is Cody and Roman. Don't nobody else be holding that. So for Drew to win it, I know Drew's a heel, but I was happy.
Yep.
I was happy because they pulled the trigger on doing something out the normal. I was happy because they did it where they did it. I was happy for who got it because the simple fact, man, during COVID, he was on a run, but
Hmm.
it wasn't no fans. So he didn't get the embrace that he deserved. And then, last time he won it, he held it for all of,
5 minutes.
I was going to say, as long as I said what I just said, you know what I mean? He just as long as he held it. So for him, but he also built that character. It also built the Drew McIntyre character. So he went through all of that to get to here. I thought it was, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was amazing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not so much the match. Don't get me wrong, the match was good too. Don't get me wrong, the match was because I got like I gotta watch the match.
Yeah.
You feel? I was watching something else, but I was like, I gotta switch over. I gotta
I
watch.
gotta see what happened.
I gotta see this now. I won't say I was watching NBA. I was watching something. I was like, I gotta switch over. But I was it was a welcome surprise. The only thing I didn't like, and I understand why they didn't do it, Cody didn't eat a pin.
Nope.
It it was interference, and then he won. Cody could have ate the pin. I understand why they don't, because they want Cody to look.
Hmm.
Like, but Roman be eating pins.
All the time now.
So why couldn't Cody eat the pin? One pin was gonna hurt Cody.
Shit, they've been trying to keep him protected. They didn't want Obafemi to get any type of pin on
I'm saying one pin's gonna hurt him. That's the
him.
only thing. But like other than that, that all the other stuff still overshadowed. So I still think it was amazing.
Yeah. So not only like I said, it was surprising that it happened on this random SmackDown, but what's even surprising, like it's a random SmackDown, but it's a random SmackDown close to Royal Rumble, aka WrestleMania season. Usually around this time, like I'm sure you guys have probably watched the Unreal. October, they got the WrestleMania plans on the whiteboard, and it's literally changes don't happen that much. When they get to January, the WrestleMania plans is basically planned out. So I don't know if this is. Some people said this wasn't planned from the beginning, so they're adjusting their WrestleMania plans. But do you think Drew's gonna keep this going into WrestleMania? You know Cody gonna be on the card. In what capacity? I don't know. I heard some rumors that they'll do Cody Roman 3 without the title. That match doesn't need a title. I'd be interested in Cody Roman 3 without the title. But he's gonna be on that card. You know, is he gonna be fighting for a title? I don't know. But Drew going into WrestleMania, you think that's a possibility?
I do think Drew's gonna keep it, but do we? Let me ask you: do you want Cody and Roman 3?
I would like Cody and Roman. I think I don't. I would like it without the title because their match they have excellent chemistry. I like before the whole run-ins at WrestleMania 40. I thoroughly enjoyed that match. Obviously, the run-ins happened, so it was still enjoyable, still an emotional thing. But they have excellent chemistry. I would like to see the rubber match, but I would like to see it without the title.
I don't want Jacob and Cody at WrestleMania. Unless they're gonna pay it off at a certain nice main event, or
Mhm.
like you let me know that was coming up the week before Royal Rumble. I didn't even know that was a thing. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie to you. Uh, Unless they're gonna pay that off the end, but I would rather see that build up into a WrestleMania match. You're right. They do have Roman and Cody do have good chemistry, but couldn't we wait to SummerSlam for that? Do we necessarily? I know they built at the end of Survivor Series. Roman gave him the "I ain't gonna never team up with you again." I get it,
Mhm.
I get that, and I know they was building up to that, but it feels like Cody got a whole nother story going on right now.
Yep.
Why? Let's do that story,
Okay.
and
What
then
do you
we'll get to Roman and Cody.
What do you see with Drew then? Because I also heard some Drew versus Roman at WrestleMania. If you guys remember, I believe Drew McIntyre's first WrestleMania back was against Roman Reigns way back in like 2017, 2018, sometime around there. Do you think you see how you feeling about that?
I wouldn't be mad at that. I like that better. I like that better than. I don't want it to be a triple threat because I hate triple threats. I'm not gonna lie, I hate triple threats, so I don't want it to be Roman, Cody, and Drew for the title. If it's Drew and Roman 1-on-1, I think that would be a good idea
Uh,
because we already know CM Punk and Braun Breaker are gonna do their thing over there.
yeah,
Braun
that's
Breaker. My question is, it's just I'm wondering when you share me what your thoughts is. Does Braun Breaker win Royal Rumble or does he win Elimination Chamber to then get the shot?
uh, I would prefer him to win the Royal Rumble. You need some fresh, but my dream is not gonna happen because Vince said it a while back, and I'm pretty sure Triple H probably has the same mindset. They're never going to give a rookie everything to start out because it built up Brock too much, in their opinion. I don't necessarily see what's wrong with that for the right guy. I think we have the right guy. I would like to see Oba go in there and win it. I think Oba's just gonna get the most eliminations. That's probably what they're gonna give him. He's gonna get the most eliminations. I'm gonna go ahead and call it them before we do our conflict point predictions. When it comes to that time, I got Oba getting the most elimination. I don't think he's gonna win it because they usually don't give the guy with the most eliminations to win. But I give Brian a fresh new Royal Rumble winner. I give him the Royal Rumble win, and then an elimination chamber will be the guy that's facing Drew.
Okay. Yeah, nah. I can see that. I was just wondering which one they would put. But they also Royal Rumble is what, 2 weeks, 2 weeks out? Cause that yeah, it should be it's 2 weeks out.
First.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks out. Ain't nobody said they was going that I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble yet. Ain't nobody did that. Oh,
They ain't even had no qualifying matches.
Yeah, and then Brian Burke got suspended. So
Yeah,
is he gonna just pop back up at the Royal Rumble?
probably.
I don't know. I, and then, like you said, they got Saturday Night's Main Event. You like, I didn't even know, and I've been trying my better. I try to be better at watching wrestling, more instead of just getting my recaps or whatever. I've been actually trying to watch the shows better, more because in fact, we talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Hey, I will say, guys, Monday Night Football is over with. Football season is basically coming to an end. I'll be watching wrestling a lot
yeah,
more.
oh yeah,
I'll be watching it. But one match I know for sure that's on Saturday night's main event. It's not official yet, but they're looking for Drew McIntyre contender. There's four singles matches these next two Fridays. The
mm-hmm.
winner of those go in have a fatal four way for the number one contender match. I know it's Trick Williams and Matt Cardona, Sami Zayn and somebody. I know Ilias,
Somebody going against Randy Orton.
yeah, and Randy Orton and somebody. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I know it's Trick Williams and Matt Cardona. And that's the one. I don't know who you gonna get, who you give that win to. They both just came. One just got caught up, one just came back. I don't know, but anyways,
Trick Willie.
Trick,
No, you
he
better give
should.
that win to Trick Willie.
He should, but Fatal Four Way, that's the only match that I know that's gonna be on the card. I'm sure maybe Dom is hurt. Uh US champion. Damn, who's the US champ?
Oh,
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo.
He'll probably have an open challenge or something. So I can probably do
Uh,
that. They're probably gonna do 4 5 matches, nothing crazy.
they need to put Ju- her name's Julia, right? Yeah,
Julia,
Julia.
yeah, they need to
That
put
just
that match.
she
Yeah.
just won the U.S. Championship back.
Yeah, they need to go. You right. They definitely need to do that.
She
But
took it off of Chelsea Green.
we will talk more about
Yeah,
Saturday
Julia.
Night's
Yeah, she need to be on that PLE. Her and Chelsea Green need to run it back.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the Saturday night's main event when we know the card for sure next week, guys. And also, we're gonna talk about Royal Rumble. Hey, WrestleMania season is here. I'm excited. I know our views gonna jump up a little bit because it's WrestleMania season. WrestleMania season is always a fun time. It's gonna be in Vegas again. I know, I know WWE. Y'all don't listen to us now. I know next year is gonna be in Saudi, but don't y'all owe Indianapolis a WrestleMania? Like, y'all know, don't y'all owe I'm not gonna go because them prices is too crazy, but I might slide up there and try to be in the atmosphere, see what it's like up there. Just when y'all gonna bring it to Indianapolis?
I think it's the year after.
It was supposed to be this year, or I don't know. They
No,
did,
no, it was New Orleans supposed to be this year,
yeah,
but
New
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 Orleans
Orleans this
lost it.
year. They didn't TKO, y'all messing up the WrestleMania rotation. I mean, I understand why y'all give it to Saudi. They dropped that big check off. I would have gave it to them too if they dropped that big check off to
Mm-hmm.
me. But I just bring it to Indianapolis. I ain't gonna go. I just maybe go to see what's the atmosphere like on the Friday night before. Go Saturday in the morning, come back Saturday night and watch the show. That's what I plan on doing. But just bring it to Indianapolis, please and thank you. But let's go ahead and slide over to an Indiana team going up against the Miami Hurricanes for the college football national championship. It's a interesting one because the national championship game is in Hard Rock Stadium, aka in Miami, Florida, also known as the Miami Hurricanes home field. The last team to beat the Miami Hurricanes on their home field was the Louisville Cardinals. I just had to get that in there. The last Power Four team that wasn't a Big Ten team that beat the outside of Notre Dame, I know Notre Dame won, but outside of the Big Ten team in Notre Dame that beat Indiana was Louisville. I just had to get that one in there too. But the game, Indiana has been dominant. The spread on insert sports book here, I've seen at 8.5, at 7.5. They opened at 6, and I saw one that had it at 9.5. My question for you, Q. They've been dominating. They've been absolutely destroying teams. Do you expect another blowout on Monday?
Nah, man, I got Miami with the win. let's go and make it clear now. I got the U is back. You know what I'm saying? This is what I gotta do. This is what I gotta do. The U is back. They gonna take care of business. Now let me tell you why I say that the U is gonna take care of business. Because I'm so sick of Indiana. Listen, I don't want them to make this movie. So this is all this what it boiled down to. Ain't no analytics, ain't no actually stats. There's no like I'm breaking down film, a tape here. It's none of that. It's I don't want them to make this movie. So I want Miami to take care of business. That's how it
So,
is. I got Miami by 8. No,
so
9. Sorry.
yeah, by now, so they obviously I mean they're covered, but so let's say insert sports book here right now. I see it at 8.5. I got Indiana. I don't get it as a blowout, but I got Indiana. 8.5 is tough because I see Indiana winning by like 10. I think I got them by 10. I don't think they're gonna mop the floor with them like they did Alabama and Oregon. But I don't hate Indiana like you do. I actually love what I'm seeing because it's not the name brand, it's not the Alabama, it's not your LSU. And the SEC, they are in shambles. They can't believe a team like Indiana is dominating like it is, and it pleases me. So I mean, not that I like Indiana, I just like how they're hurting and making SEC fans miserable. It pleases me. Still not happy that Indiana dodged, but they probably would have mopped the floor with us anyway. It's just,
Everybody keeps saying that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Because at the end of the day, we proven that we could beat the team that's going to win the national championship. So you telling me we couldn't beat the runner up?
you're right.
That's all I'm saying. Everybody acting like, yeah, Indiana's just all this power, and Indiana's a good team. I'm not knocking them or whatever the case may be. They're a good team, but we proven that we could beat people. We also proven we could lose people. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend
Yeah.
like that's not the case. Louisville proves that all the time. They're proving that in basketball right now. That ain't on the docket, but we got to put that on there next week because they
Yeah.
proven they can lose people too. But we also showed that we could beat people when we played our best game. So I ain't gonna say that we just was gonna get blown out by Indiana at the beginning of the season, especially not at the beginning of the season. Nah, I have more
Right.
confidence in
Not
it.
in the beginning of the season. I
Yeah.
will say, after every game Miami won in this playoff, I just sat there and thought, like, I know the scoreboard. You scoreboard watchers, y'all not gonna agree with me, but if you sit down and watch that game from kickoff to the end, Louisville dominated Miami on their home field, absolutely dominated them. And look where we are. Like, I just think about like the team, and it's happened 2 years in a row. We played Indiana. I don't want to say we necessarily dominated them, Indiana last year, but we was in that game and very well could have, maybe should have won that game, maybe a call here or there. They end up the runners ups. We dominate Miami. They gonna win it or they gonna be the runner ups. If you're Jeff Brown, I'm sorry we turned this into a little bit of a Louisville rant, guys, but if you're Jeff Brown, you gotta think like we're there. We just gotta get consistent.
That's the other thing. Like we lost, we still would have been in the playoffs even after the Virginia loss
Hmm.
because the Miami game was after the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was we lost to Cal,
It was Cal. The Clemson loss took their hearts out.
and you went to Clemson last year and ran them out the door in their
Yeah.
home stadium. Then turn around, let them do that to you in your stadium this year. But it was the Clemson loss and the Cal loss. If it wasn't for those losses, you take care of business. Hell, we blew out Kentucky without our best wide receiver. We was missing some players.
Best wide receiver and our top two running backs. We had walk-on running backs.
We held the top 3 running backs.
Mm.
We was down to our last scholarship running back and a walk on running back. So no, we had
Yeah,
the opportunity. But back to Miami, I do. The one thing I will say is like X's and O's wise, I think Miami defensive line is going to give Indiana's offensive line fits because in fact Indiana has played good teams. Alabama has good defensive line, but Miami got that boy.
they got the best defense. I say outside of Texas Tech, Miami's was the second best defense in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
Texas Tech's defense was unreal. Their offense didn't do them no favors against Oregon. But was it? Yeah, it was Oregon. But their offense didn't do them no favors. Miami's defense is up there. Now, you got to get the ball out your hands quick. You can't sit back there and burp the baby.
Hmm.
Leonard Mendoza, you gotta get that ball out your hands quick. So Ruben Bain and the rest of them gangs, they coming for you, and they coming fast.
Like I said, they got that man. He gonna
So
be, especially with Moore going back to Oregon. Ruben's gonna go up higher in the draft. He might be.
top five pick.
I was gonna say he might be a top 3 pick,
Yeah.
especially if, depending on how he play in his championship game. He might be a top 3 pick. So I think the offensive line. I mean, the defensive line for Miami is going to give the offensive line of Indiana some trouble.
Yeah.
And then if you hit Mendoza a couple times, he ain't
We'll
gonna
see what
play
it
some.
turns into. We'll see. Most quarterbacks, not most, all quarterbacks, you touch them up a little bit, they not the same.
Everybody got to play until they get hit in the face.
Yep. But let's go ahead and slide over to the NFL world. We gotta talk about it. We'll get to a lot of the other coaching searches, coaching stuff, but we gotta talk about the big one, the big news that dropped on Tuesday. I was, eating some food fresh from the dentist when I got this notification. Mike Tomlin, the former longest tenured coach in all of the four major sports, not just in football, but in basketball, baseball, and hockey. The longest tenured head coach has keyword stepped down. Wasn't fired. He
Mm-hmm.
stepped down. I'll get to that in a little bit, but Mike Tomlin will not be coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. The last time the Steelers was not coached by Mike Tomlin, the iPhone wasn't released. You had to text with a BlackBerry. So I think I forgot the quarterback they said, but somebody was like 3 years old. All types of things. 2007 is when Mike Tomlin was hired. He was hired as a 34-year-old man. 19 years later, he is not coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. A wonderful 19-year career with the Steelers, no losing record. He had a couple 500 seasons, but never went under 500. Got to give him credit. Went to two Super Bowls, won one against the Arizona Cardinals, lost one against Aaron Rodgers. And apparently the players, TJ Watt and Aaron Rodgers, was very sad. They felt like they was to blame for what Mike Tomlin was not the reason for him stepping down. There's been rumors going around that Mike Tomlin had this plan for a while since going into this year that he was probably going to step down. But before we get into potential replacements and potential next stop, Mike Tomlin, what was your reaction?
Man, I was in high school when that man started coaching.
Yeah.
I was in high school. Now I have a kid in middle school. That sounds crazy. That's how long that man has been there. I was in high school and I now have a middle schooler. That's how long he was coaching that team. Um, when I saw that news on Tuesday, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this was a mutual agreement of parting ways.
Mm.
When I first saw it on Tuesday, but now that the week has progressed and you reading through it, the Pittsburgh Steelers is like they upset. They
Yeah.
This wasn't they playing at all. They just knew they that the fact that they have to do head coach search right now is mind blowing to them because they
Yeah.
just knew he was coming back.
Since 1969, they've had four coaches.
Yeah,
This will be their fifth.
it was the fans is out here chanting fire Tomlin, and the Roonies is out here like I don't care what y'all talking about. He gonna be here next year. And then for them to find out on Tuesday in the office, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out. They sitting over like, well, excuse me? You feel me? Like, we weren't gonna listen to them, right? Talking about the fans. You was good, you know what I'm saying? But it it didn't surprise me though. And the reason I say that is because you've been hearing this all year, and then the fans wanting him out. This didn't just start 2 weeks ago.
It's been like the past four seasons because
Yeah,
they've been one and done.
yeah, and even like the real, like you said, it's been going on for 4 seasons. But I'm talking about like we heard earlier this year that this might be his last year there.
Yeah.
You didn't. It wasn't loud, but you heard it. So, but you kind of just the fans. It's probably some fans talking about it. They ain't really gonna do it. But then you get to that last week of the playoffs. You get to the last week of the regular season, and I was listening to damn, I can't. Now I'm drawing a blank of his name. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he talked. He said Tony Kornheiser asked him, "Who do you think will be back? Who has a better chance of coming back, Harbaugh or Tomlin?" And he do straight up said, "No, I don't think neither one of them going to be back." Come to find out, neither one of them is back, and they the two longest tenured football coaches.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it shocked me like man, because I wouldn't say I was a Steelers fan. I like the Steelers because of Mike Tomlin.
I
Mike
was a
Tomlin,
Tomlin fan. Yeah.
I was a Mike Tomlin fan. You know, you hear all the stories about Mike Tomlin, the stuff that Ron Clark says, and I always said like if I was a NFL player, I'll play for Mike Tomlin. I don't care if it's cold in Pittsburgh. Send me up there. I'll play in that code for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I play that code for Mike. But he's the one coach that I would play for now that he's gone. One thing I will say, Aaron Rodgers ain't coming back.
Oh
Soon
no,
as
he's done. Yeah.
he's done. But now that he's on, he's done. Um, so looking at it, who do you see replacing Mike Tomlin? We'll get to the rest of the coaching staff and we'll get to Mike in a second. But the last two head coaches was 34-year-old defensive minded coaches. That's what Mike Tomlin was. That was what Bill Cowher was. And they know how the Twitterverse, how the social media world goes. They looking for 34-year-old defensive minded coach that's probably gonna be there for the next 15 plus years. How you seeing it?
Oh, what if the person that we always say he's not gonna get a job? What if he gets this job? Because he's ever since his situation in Miami, his first stop was in Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin brought him in. I'm talking about Brian Flores.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mike Tomlin brought him in. He was a special defensive assistant, and then he was the linebackers coach. Then he progressed, and he ended up going up to Minnesota. But I know is I think he got an interview lined up with Pittsburgh. I know they got an interview with somebody else, another younger guy. But I think if there's any team that's gonna be like, we know you in the NFL, but if we gonna figure it out, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you also heard rumors about Brian that he necessarily get along with all his players and
Yeah.
even a lot of his coaches. I didn't I didn't know that until this past week.
Apparently him and Tua got some real beef.
Yeah, and he apologized to Tua at a press conference this year. I think it was this year, either this year or last year. He apologized to Tua. I didn't know he struggled with the people part of head coaching.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until now, but he might be the answer.
Well, he might be, but I just looking at the list. One of the first names I heard because he's a young guy, Chris Shula, young guy Jeff, defensive coordinator for the Rams, DC for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jeff Hafley, DC for the Chargers, Jesse Minter. Those are the names I saw instantly because they're young guys in their 30s, defensive minded coach. That's been the model for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will see. Also, Rams pass game coordinator Nate Cecil. People love if you're a janitor for the Los Angeles Rams, you can get a job in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one of those things. But I don't know who to get. Uh, do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers gonna get lucky a fourth time? I mean a fifth time? No, it'll be a fourth time.
It'll
You
be the
think they're
fourth
gonna
time.
look at fourth time?
Um, I, I want to say yeah because that's what they do, and they not gonna rush the decision. Everybody else is gonna rush their head coaching decision. They gonna take their time to make sure they find the right person.
Mhm.
So I want to say yeah, and then they also gonna give that coach the opportunity to grow and improve. They
Yeah.
not gonna not only they not gonna rush the hire, they not gonna rush them out the door when it ain't going right.
All right.
So I'm gonna say yes,
All right.
even though I know the odds are no.
Because the cover is better in Pittsburgh right now. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about where we put it on the hierarchy of jobs here in a sec. But the cover is better. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there. You got an old defense that's expensive. Offensively, you just got DK. And if they can re-sign Kenneth Gainwell, that's all you got. You need a
That's it.
quarterback. You need to get younger and less expensive on defense. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's slide to Mike Tomlin and what's his next job going to be. Well, he's not going to, more than likely, he's not going to be working in the NFL. He's probably going to be on TV somewhere making a lot of money. I ain't worried about Mike Tomlin. He's going to get some paper next season.
Mhm.
Whether it's going to be on CBS, Fox, ESPN, whatever. But like I said earlier, the key word is he stepped down, and which means his contract is still active.
Mhm.
Pittsburgh said, hey, you got 2 years. We hold your rights. So if
Mhm.
anybody wants Mike Tomlin, they're gonna have to give up some draft picks, like Denver gave up some draft picks to get Sean Payton. Now, been seeing some things that Mike Tomlin's gonna be permanently retired. That I feel like it might probably just a 1 year thing. He's 54, 53, 54.
Mhm.
But he's still young, especially in coaching age. He's probably gonna take a year off. Who knows what the coaching landscape, coaching jobs are gonna be open next year? But is there a job that you can see that might take that swing at Mike Tomlin? I know a lot of coaches was relieved though. Like some coaches that had jobs when they saw like they had to trade for him. Because I know there was a lot of owners, a lot of GMs that would fire their coach just to get Mike Tomlin if they didn't
Mhm.
have to give up a draft pick. But what you see him possibly doing?
If I'm potential places that where head coaches that need to be watching out, Tom Bowles in Tampa Bay,
Hmm.
he needs to be because, like I said, Tomlin ain't going. He's not going to coach next season. Cool. He's probably going, like you said, be at CBS somewhere, kicking with his feet up, talking on the television. So if I'm Todd Bowles, you have another down year because he was projected to win the division this year and they didn't. He have another year where he don't win the division or he looks bad. He get fired. Tomlin's right there to take that. You know, have
Hmm.
take that opening. Another. This is gonna sound messed up because I won't dude to get it, but Aaron Glenn up in the Jets.
Yeah.
That's Tomlin's job if he wants it. Like I'm just being honest, and I know it sounds messed up, but next year, if he wants it, that's his job. So those are the two, and I hate to say it, them two, for what
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
but them is the two I see just off the top without even thinking. Them is the two that's like because Aaron Glenn could have got fired this year and he didn't get fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said the Steelers cupboard is bare. The Jets don't even know where the grocery store is. You know what I mean? So, and the things they did have in there, they
They sent them away.
they sent them away for some dollars to go back to the grocery store, and they already showed that they don't know where the grocery store is when they go.
They don't know
They
where to
bring home
shop
the
at.
wrong stuff. So, I don't think the Jets is gonna be any better.
Yep.
So that means Aaron Glenn gonna come back with the same record. That's gonna be Tomlin's
Yeah.
job.
Aaron Glenn can't put up a stinker of a season. He's out of there. He might not finish the season if it gets bad.
It's the thing. It ain't gonna be his fault if he put up a stinker
Yeah.
of a season. He don't.
He ain't got nothing.
What Brees Hall. That's it.
Yeah. And I think his contract might be
I'm
up.
gonna say I think his contract. Yeah, you're right. I think his contract is up, or he got 1 year left. But I won't say his contract is up.
Yeah,
So it
so
ain't no guarantee he go. And if you Brees Hall, I'm not coming back to this. So they come. Yeah, nah. So like I said, I feel bad to say it like that, but Aaron Glenn, man. If Tomlin wants your job, he gonna have your job.
but right now a lot of these coaches don't have to worry as Mike Tomlin more than likely is sitting out this year. There's rumors that he is permanently retired. We'll see what that is next season. But let's talk about the jobs that are open this year. One did get filled, and we all knew that John Harbaugh he had the pick of the litter. He was the hot girl looking for a date for prom. Everybody wanted to take her. He got to the Giants facility, and he didn't leave until he had a contract. Apparently, the next stop for John was
Yeah,
Tennessee, and
it
apparently I
was.
looked at the reports. since he was ready to throw him the bag.
We
Uh,
was.
but the Giants knew what they needed to do. They kept him. They
They ain't let
kept
him
him in the
leave.
facility. Gave him a contract. Now he's the new head coach of the New York Giants. Which honestly, we talked about the job hierarchy. We both like the Falcons. We we both like the Giants. I mean, we both like the Falcons and we both like the Baltimore Ravens. We
Yeah.
probably felt like the Giants was number three because they had some young pieces. You know, two of them are hurt, Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo, but they have what some believe is a solid quarterback. We'll see what he does next year. A little bit of a injury prone for my liking because he likes to run a little bit for my liking. Well, not likes to run. He likes to head to contact and like not slide. So
So he like to take hits.
he likes to X, but the cover ain't bad in New York. You got some pieces. You got an excellent D line. Brian Burns, he was second in sacks. I mean, Miles Garrett, he had a historical year. That's not your fault, dog. You got Dexter Lawrence in the middle. You got Thibodeau. You got Abdul Carter. You got some pieces. The Giants can be a good team, and they got them a solid coach. You think it's gonna make a difference for them?
No, because I don't trust the quarterback. Because like you said, he be hurt all the time. He,
Mhm.
he's hurt all the time. They got him. They got him in the offensive rookie of the year finalist, and I'm looking at it like the games. He only finished like 6 games. He didn't even finish all the games.
Yeah, if they don't give that thing to Tyler Shuck and call it a day.
What we talking about? Best me, I put in the comments Cam Ward. You know, it was a bunch of haters in there. They said, "Man, Cam played bad all year. He was playing with nobodies. He
Yeah.
did good from my perspective." But besides, like you said, the Giants got everything. I just don't trust the quarterback.
Mhm.
If he could prove that he can stay on the field, then that's what that job is going to be decided upon. Is if he can stay on the field.
Mhm. That's a good call. So next up, we got the jobs that are open currently. You got Baltimore, which they got an MVP. That's got to be one of the top jobs left.
That
You
is
got
the
the,
job.
you
Yeah.
got the Falcons, which got almost everything but a quarterback. If you can get somebody Michael Penix, or you can find a quarterback, you can do something because they got everything over there. You got Arizona, which looks like they are going for a divorce with Kyler Murray. You're going to have to probably start over. They got some solid receivers. You got Wilson. You got a talented one that hasn't figured it out yet in Marvin Harrison Jr. But, they got some work over there. You got the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the first overall pick. They got Brock Bowers. They got Ashton Genty. They probably won't have Max Crosby because apparently he's not happy. He wants to get traded. We will see. You got the Tennessee Titans, who has a Cam Ward. Didn't play well, but you saw flashes. You saw what he's capable of. They get some pieces and figure things out. We'll see. You got Miami. They are one of them things where they're probably gonna do a yard sale. Two of them probably won't be there. Tyreek, he tore his ACL. There's a chance. I mean, he's gonna be a step slower, still faster than most people, but we'll see if he's there. Devin Achan was on the trade block last season, so let's see if he's
Mm-hmm.
even there. Then we move up. So what I'm trying to think.
Pittsburgh,
Cleveland.
Cleveland,
We got
Pittsburgh.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Cleveland, they Cleveland guys. Like what y'all want me to say? They Shador, he showed us flashes. I don't think he showed us enough to make us be like he's our guy. He showed you enough to like maybe we'll give him a chance. We'll probably draft another quarterback, but we'll still give you a look. We'll see what's up. We'll see. And then still, like I said, Pittsburgh ain't nothing there.
Not really. I mean, can we both agree that the best job is Baltimore and the worst
Yeah.
job is Cleveland?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Who do you think is the second worst? Because I think it's the Raiders.
They got the first overall pick though. That's what would entice me. It depends on how you feel about Fernando
I was
Mendoza.
going to say it depends on how you feel about Fernando. If you feel like Fernando is going to be a starting caliber quarterback, then you will put them higher. If you don't have that faith in him, then I think they are the second worst.
And we kind of shitted on Fernando for winning the Heisman. He's a solid quarterback. I don't think he's a he's not having a Joe Burrow type of year, but in terms of going from where his stock was to beginning of the year to being the first overall pick, he did do himself a lot of service. I don't know if he's gonna be Joe Burrow. I can't say that because he didn't. We talked about his numbers, bro. His numbers was okay at best for a
Yeah,
Heisman winner. You watch him play, he's a solid quarterback. You just had no crazy numbers, dog. I'm sorry.
he okay. Let me ask you this: Who do you think? Do you think he's better than JJ McCarthy?
Yeah, I would take him over JJ.
Okay, I think I would too. But that, but how much more? How much better is he than JJ? Is the question. I don't think he's that much better.
I trust him over JJ because Fernando there he can he I've seen him make pretty much every watching especially in the playoffs. He's made every throw. Every NFL every throw is an NFL throw. JJ McCarthy you couldn't say that because there was a
True,
run
true.
heavy team. I've seen Fernando and I'm sure you listen to Fernando after like the post game interviews.
Yeah.
That's the most polished person I've ever heard in post game. I be thinking like, I know, is he really like that outside when the camera's off? Because I've never seen a quarter. Most quarterbacks is polished, clean cut.
hmm
They have to be, but I ain't never seen none of that polished. He ain't got no squeaky clean.
He got all the leadership stuff, and like you say, he can make the throws. I don't. So I think he's gonna be. How can I put this? I don't think he's gonna be in the top echelon of quarterbacks. I think he's gonna be that middle of the pack. He's gonna be a starting caliber quarterback. I don't think he's not gonna be the reason you win the Super Bowl, but I also don't think he'll be the reason you lose the Super Bowl. If that makes
So
sense.
like you put him in the Kirk. So
I
Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. If he gets hot, he can get you to the Super Bowl. So Kirk Cousins slash Joe Flacco, because I saw I see Joe Flacco, a very good quarterback. He got hot at the right time and can get and got you to the Super Bowl. You think?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
get. I think he'll look better than Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
but yeah, in that range, like he's not gonna be the reason you lose. He's like a what's the name? We just Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield.
Baker,
What
Baker.
Baker is this past couple seasons, not Baker at the beginning of his career. Baker what he is now. He might make a couple of mistakes, but the simple fact you have a better chance of winning because you have him. But I
Okay.
also don't think he's gonna carry you to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think that's the range in which I see him. That's from my perspective. But a quarterback, everybody needs a quarterback. So if you get you one of those with the number one overall pick, you feel like
All right.
you're in business.
All right.
But look how long it took Baker to get here.
You're right. It took him a while. It took him a couple teams.
Yeah, so like I said, it took that man a couple stops, but he finally found it. I think Fernando. I see Fernando more in that vein than a like you said a Joe Burrow or a Lamar or a, of course Patrick,
All right.
Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't. But then you look at the rest of the team in Oakland. I think I would put them second worst because of the fact, like you said, you losing Matt, you losing Crosby. So
Yeah.
then your defense, you looking like they got some pieces, but I don't.
You
I
losing
think
that
they
big dude. You losing that big dog though. Probably.
yeah
If maybe they can go smooth it over with him. Maybe they can. I don't see them being able to. The way he was mad. The way the man. They told him to go home. We putting you on IR because of your knee injury. He did end up getting surgery, but the man went home and played basketball with his daughter and put it on Instagram. You know how fed up you got to be. Like it literally, they told him, it literally came out, yeah, we putting him on IR because of his knee injury. The man said, you know what? I'm gonna go play basketball with my daughter and put it on Instagram. You know how fed up you gotta be?
yeah. I just want to stick it to the. I just want the fans to know it wasn't me. That's what he on. I don't want them to blame me. I want them to look at y'all, the organization, like that's a mess over there. So when I get ready to get up out of here, y'all understand why.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this real quick because I know we got to do other stuff. The Arizona Cardinals, they are like a traditional 7 to 10 win team.
Hmm.
They ain't never really bad, but they ain't never really good neither. This is just me. Do you think that's a good job because of the fact you always in the middle of the bag?
I don't right now. I don't think it's a great job. I think they're probably lower level. Miami's tough because you don't know what you keeping. Like I said, Pittsburgh is tough because the only good thing about Pittsburgh is the ownership. I give it that. The Falcons, the only thing you missing is a quarterback. Arizona, you losing Kyler Murray. He's not going to be an Arizona
Yeah,
Cardinal next year.
but they lost them this year, and they still won games with um
Jacoby Brissett, which
Brissett.
I believe they're going to treat him as a bridge. Arizona will probably draft a quarterback and treat Jacoby as a bridge. So it's not bad. I wouldn't hate it. It's just I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
yeah, I don't know. That's why I was wondering what you thought because it's like you would think it would be a good job because it seems like they got everything else, but at the same time, they always in that 7 to 10 win range. So it's like you never gonna be bad enough to get a higher draft pick to get you a potential better quarterback, but you also ain't good enough to be in the playoffs or win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Where's gonna be? That's where the Steelers has been the past
So
10 seasons.
I don't know how to I don't really know how to rank the Arizona job. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
so as another job that still could potentially open up, we're not sure yet. So we're going to two more things we're going to talk about before we switch over to the games. But there's a job up there. There's a coach who's looking for a contract extension. He has one more year on his contract. There was rumors that he might get that pink slip, but or he could get a new contract extension. He wants a contract extension. And that coach is up there in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur. There was rumors that he might get fired, but there's also rumors he's working. He's trying to get a contract extension. Sounds like they don't have an owner. The president of the Green Bay Packers playing a little hardball with him, and he's like, maybe you can let me play on my last year, and y'all gonna have to pay me triple what I want now. Because right now, if Matt LaFleur gets fired, he'll be the new hot girl at the school.
Mm-hmm.
You think that job opens up, or you think he gets his contract extension?
I don't. I do not think that job opens up this offseason. Now, next offseason, we'll revisit.
Yeah,
But I don't because I feel like if you was gonna open that job up, you would have already did it.
yeah, because they didn't love what that
They
game
lost
Saturday
Sunday.
night.
Yeah. I was Saturday. Yeah, theirs was Saturday, I'm sure. Yeah, they lost Saturday night. So I feel like if you was gonna open that up, you would have already.
It was an embarrassing loss too. You let them come back. You was up 21-3. You let them come back 21-3. Yeah,
Yeah, but they was at home.
yeah.
Chicago was at home. And you okay, Al Michaels, you heard him say it was a loud he been there for 31 games. He ain't never heard it be that loud. So
Yeah.
the atmosphere I feel like might have played a part of that. But I don't think it opens up this offseason. But I also feel like if I'm LaFleur and we go into next year and I don't still have a contract extension, it's me and Tomlin. We're gonna be the hottest people on the market next year.
Yeah.
So I could go somewhere else. I'm gonna be him. So
And he'd probably be not more desirable, but more gettable because you got to trade something to get Tomlin next year. Still, you ain't got to trade nothing to get LaFleur. Hey,
my contract up.
well, just drop me the bag. Yeah, you can keep your draft picks.
Mm-hmm. Hey, this is what because Green Bay gonna offer something. Hey, this is what they offer. Can you beat that? Yeah, we could. All right, then we good. So yeah, no, I don't think it opens up this year, but next year, hey,
Let's see if he doesn't get that contract extension. If you don't get that contract extension, you might as well just ride out the season.
yeah, right. If you get to preseason and you ain't got no contract extension, yeah, what's the point? We'll talk about it at the end of the year.
Yep.
Don't even call my agent.
So one more thing, obviously we talked about, Tennessee, they had their eyes set on John. Like I said, he was the next meeting. Tennessee was the next meeting, but the Giants didn't let him out the door. But the interviews that the Titans they went to Lou Anarumo, coordinator for the Colts, Steve Spagnuolo. We know Steve, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. They multiple Super Bowls because of him. He gonna heat you up. Matt Nagy, former head coach of the Chicago Bears, now offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Andy Reid calls the plays. You just, I mean, I don't want to shit on him too much. You're still a coach. Sorry,
He
Matt
he
Nagy.
do. Let's put it like this. Uh, I can't think of his name. I thought about it before the pod, but he was the offensive coordinator at the beginning of Patrick Mahomes' time.
Eric,
Bergman, yeah,
Blunt.
Gene ain't really been the same well, they still been good. They still been great. Like, well, let's not. But you can see chinks in the armor ever since he ain't been
Yeah. Yeah. So
there. It
man,
was start like a slow, like a snowball effect. It was slowly going there.
yep. Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator for the Broncos. Kevin Stefanski, free agent, former coach of the Cleveland Browns. Uh, I believe what Mike McCoy's a current coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, and Jason Garrett, former Dallas Cowboys and former New York Giants head coach, currently on TV. These are who you guys interviewed. Any of these guys fit your fantasy, or is there somebody else out there? I know, my man in Miami. He might got an interview for you guys soon, Mike
Yeah,
McDaniel's.
I think it was today, but don't quote me on that. Like I said last week, bro, I don't want none of the people on that list. Uh, so I got a lot of heat on the TikTok people because I said Raheem Morris last week, and a lot of people was told me I was crazy for wanting Raheem Morris. They say he's 0-2 at head coaching stops. He's not gonna get another one. Dude, one of the Falcons fans said, "Yeah, I thought the same thing too when he got hired." And then you're gonna change your mind quickly. So I still don't think Raheem Morris is a bad choice, but I'm putting Matt Robert Saleh,
Okay.
current coordinator for the 49ers, used to be the head coach of the Jets.
Yep.
I wouldn't Matt Robert Saleh. So that's the name I'm gonna go with.
All right. So that's who Q wants. I mean, I don't know. Like, you got to find somebody that's gonna work well with Cam Ward. I gave out the name well before the season ended. Cliff Kingsbury, he actually got let go by the Commanders. He's a free agent now. You said nah, which I can understand why.
He could
I
be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I like his offensively. Outside of that, man, I don't know, man. Like you guys, again, y'all got a quarterback. We seen flashes. Running back, Tony Pollard, he's a solid running back. I don't like him at RB1. I think he's more of a change of pace back, but y'all got him as RB1. Defensively, y'all been good. This year it wasn't very good, but usually the past few years, y'all solid. Took a step
Yeah,
back this year.
it came back. It came on towards the end of the season, like Cam did. Cam Moore comes on towards the end of the season. The roster's gonna need updated. The roster needs updated. We're gonna have to get a new running back. We're gonna have to get some wide receivers.
Yep.
That's just all. I think if we get a defensive coordinator who hires a solid offensive head coach, I think that's what we need because in fact the division that we playing in, the Texas is good. The Texas is playing good. The Jaguars is playing good. The Colts, they don't really have a quarterback next year, which is something they're gonna have to figure out.
They're gonna figure
So
that out because
they're gonna have to figure that out
Daniel Jones ain't gonna be available
to at least
until
October.
and even then he ain't gonna be right.
Yeah,
We all know Achilles. It takes you gonna be back in a year, but you ain't gonna be right for two.
right. So and then Daniel Jones, when he was playing good with the Colts, he was on the move. Once he started not being able to be on the move, he started to regress to the mean.
Yep.
So yeah, nah. So I think for us to get back in play for our division, we're gonna have to hire, I think, a solid defensive head coach, and then find an offensive coordinator that we could pair along with Cam Ward.
Mhm. So, but we'll be these jobs will start opening up. One job has filled up again. My man Harbaugh is with the New York Giants. He was the belle of the ball. He's gone now. Everybody else is about to fall in line. We'll see as the weeks go on who gets what job and what we think and if it's a good hire or not a good hire. But the season isn't over with. With the divisional round weekend, we got some games. We got the Rams going to Chicago, and it's gonna be cold, real cold. We got Seahawks. They facing against their old rivals, the 49ers, this time without George Kittle. I got something I want to ask you about the 49ers here in a second. So we'll talk about that. And then what other games we got? My bad guys.
Texans and Patriots,
Texas and the Patriots.
and with
And
Bills,
then, and then we got
Bills Broncos.
Bills Broncos. How you feeling about this weekend?
Uh, the game I'm most excited to see is Texans Patriots
Mhm.
because I want to see if May can continue, if he can continue his hot success. The
Yeah.
49ers and Seahawks, we just saw this.
Uh-huh.
And the 49ers could not do nothing. And when I say
Mhm.
nothing, I mean nothing against that Seahawks defense. So I don't know if I want to see that. With to be honest with you.
Uh, well, the two I'm interested in, we've talked a lot about the man, Josh Allen. We said, yo, ops ain't here. You're not going against Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. This is your chance. But you're going up against the Denver Broncos. They had the most sacks this year, and Josh Allen's been prone to take a lot of sacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in the Chicago Rams because it's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be caught up right,
It's
yeah.
gonna be cold. So those are the two games I'm interested in.
Yeah, now the Bills and the Broncos, like you said, the competition ain't there. But also, I think another thing that we got to look for in this match is Bo Nix ready? Because last that it was in this position last year versus the Bills, mind you, it was in
The
Buffalo.
wild card?
It was in Buffalo last year, but is Bo Nix change in the past 365? Because he wet the bed last year.
Yep,
Is he going wet the bed this year?
you are right. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Let's go ahead and do them pick'ems. We got one more topic to talk about after this, so let's go ahead and get them with the NFL pick'ems.
Do. All right, first one, Bills versus Broncos.
I don't know. I'm just gonna hope Josh Allen uh shows up because again, your ops ain't here. You're gonna get talked bad about if you don't at least get to the Super Bowl. But by the way, congratulations, Josh Allen. I see that his wife is pregnant, so early congratulations to him.
Yeah, shout out to him for that. So you going with the Bills? I'm gonna go with the Bills as well because simple fact, it's what you need to do. All right, 49ers versus Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks in this one. So before we slide to a different, did you see the conspiracy theory? The 49ers, they practice on this power plant basically, and people did some research and basically it affects soft tissues, which is why the 49ers have been the most injured team the past 10 years. They almost double and triple some of the other teams, especially with Achilles. You notice, all the Achilles they've had, all the freak injuries they had, ACLs, Brandon Ayuk, that freak one that happened in the Super Bowl with that linebacker, Fred Warner breaking his leg, George Kittle, Chris McCaffrey stay hurt. You think there's something to it?
If it's that frequent, then it probably is something to. I hadn't heard about this, but if it's that frequent, then it's probably is something to it.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically practice right there on the power plant, and the stadium's right there. Then, like I said, I'm gonna put an owner's hat on. You hear this, you might not care if it's true or not. My owner's hat. I'm at least moving my practice facility or trying to buy out that plant. I,
Yeah, yeah.
it,
We move to the practice facility because it's probably cheaper to just move to practice facility.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
was just curious to see how you would have felt if you was an owner. I'm definitely moving that practice. I'm a hit him up like how much y'all want for it first. They probably gonna hit me with something crazy. Like, all right, let's just move our stuff.
yeah, yeah. Let's not move. Let's move our stuff. So yeah, I'm going. Who you going with? I'm going with the 49ers.
Seahawks. I'm going with the
Yeah. Okay.
Seahawks.
Cool. 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 I don't know why I'm going with them, but I'm just gonna go with the 49ers. Something's telling me to go with them. All right. Next is Texans versus Patriots.
It's going against my thought process of the last game, but a lot of times teams when they get a bye, they don't, actually they didn't get a bye. I'm thinking the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Never mind my thought process. But I like the Houston Texans defense. I want to see if they can change up on Drake May. Drake May ain't been this far yet. So I'm going with the Texans.
I'm going with the Texans as well because that to somebody show they can beat that defense. I'm right with that defense. Next, Rams and 49ers.
I'm
I mean,
torn with
Rams
Red and
Birds.
Bears. I'm torn with this one. I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. But like I said multiple times, it's gonna be cold.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna stick with the Rams. The Rams ain't giving up no lead, 21-3 lead like the Packers did. So I'm gonna stick with my gut, but I'm scared because, like I said, it's gonna be cold.
Man, I'm going with the Rams because simple fact, man, Matthew Stafford ain't new to this. And he don't care how cold it is. Devontae Adams played in Green Bay.
You're all right. All
Puka don't seem like he back down for a challenge. So
right. All right, so that's our NFL pickers, but we're changing it up a little bit. We're gonna end with the NBA. Couple trade talks going around. Kuminga officially requested a trade. You hit me up like we need to talk about this. I'm like, I didn't think it was a big deal. We knew Kuminga didn't want to be there. We knew this. We knew this. But and also Ja Morant, we knew he's not gonna be in Memphis long. But there's no word around the street is that Ja Morant bought a house in Miami. So, we can talk about that if we want, but I want to specifically talk about this Kuminga thing. And I want to propose to you something that
I was like, oh.
I'm gonna propose to something. I'll let you slide. I want to get this out first and see your reaction. So I saw a list of teams, and this came out teams that were interested in Kuminga, and one team came up on the list. And there's one team also has a current player that they're trying to trade now. And this current player, he's injured. He got some injuries. He might be out for a while. So I was thinking, like, how do you want to risk it if you're Golden State? Trading Kuminga to the Dallas Mavericks for Anthony Davis.
I don't think I would do that trade.
If you're who?
I both because it gives you somebody else that can handle the ball with Dallas. That could go get their own shot because that's what Kuminga could do. Kuminga can go get his own shot. And you if you go to state, you need a big. You need like a
So you,
they
you say you think you would or you wouldn't?
would.
Okay, okay, would.
They need a real big. I'm
Yeah,
not no shade.
Draymond.
No shade. No shade to the man. He a 4-time All Star. He done won Defensive Player of the Year once. He probably gonna slide into the Hall of Fame. Well, he ain't a problem. It's the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean the basketball Hall of Fame. Everybody getting in there.
Yeah.
So, but you need a real big, and I think Anthony Davis is worth it. But Anthony,
Now we know Anthony Davis. He don't like playing the five. He don't like playing the five now.
by definition, he gonna be playing the four because Draymond said he playing five.
Okay, you're right.
But the problem with that is Anthony Davis want an extension.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to state, do you want to sign up another older person?
I don't think you got the even bread for that.
That's the thing. If I could get Anthony Davis on like a 2-year extension, be then I think I would do it. But if he want like a 5-year extension, then no.
Now, if you Anthony Davis, like we know how deep the West is. We talked about it. It's three and a possible. You got Denver, OKC, the Spurs, and the possibles, the Timberwolves if they figure it out. Three and a possible right now. Do you think if you Anthony Davis, if you Steve Curry, if you I don't know who the GM is for Golden State right now, they changed it. Do you think you can at least get into that possible list with AD? Because right now you always feel like you got a chance as long as you got Steph Curry, Draymond,
You said it.
Jimmy Butler. Do you think you can get in that possible list? You
You
think?
put you put Anthony Davis with Steph Curry. You feel like you on that possible list.
All
But
right.
it also depends on how much you got to give up to get for the money to match. So it's gonna have to be Kuminga
Yeah.
and something else. Probably Buddy Hill. Honestly, it'll probably be Buddy Hill. But then there goes like one of
That's a
your
shit
other.
right there.
I was going to say there
I
goes
would
your.
try my best not to give him up.
But
You
that's your
got you got
fourth
to
player.
keep
But that's
because
a contract.
you want your starters to. I don't. Is Buddy a starter? I
I,
think
no, I think he comes off the bench.
okay, but like you want Steph, you want Jimmy Butler, you want Draymond, and you want AD in that starting lineup. Who I don't know what you're putting for that two spot, but that's what you want. And I think that's a team that like man, if it's 2016, crazy. It's not 2016 though. It's 2026.
Yeah.
They old, but maybe they can be in that possible list behind the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I think they would be on that possible list.
Mm,
I don't think it automatically puts them in there, but I think it is they do go on that possible list. But if you Dallas, I wouldn't be mad at having Kuminga
yeah,
for AD because then you get a younger player, and then you probably I think Buddy Hield's on an expiring contract, or he might have. Where's it? Yeah, he's on 3 years. Okay, so it ain't an expiring contract, but I still think I would do it if I was them.
mm. So, but I ask you that question. What were your thoughts if this Kuminga wanted to get traded in general? Like I said, we knew.
Kuminga won't look. I said I want to talk about this because Kuminga wanted the opportunity to play. That's why he held out as long as he did. He wanted the opportunity to play. He played for a little bit at the beginning of the season, then he ain't played in weeks. And then you had the report that came out a couple of weeks ago, basically where the owner emailed the fan and was like, yeah, the coaching probably should be a little different. The way we build the team should be a little different, and we should change our lineups and coaches should adjust. He basically kind of threw Steve Kerr under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think it's time for them to fire Steve Kerr.
You think he took him as far as he could?
He don't want to adjust. He keep wanting to play small ball, and it ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
Your depth lineup days is over. Then that stuff worked when Draymond Green was younger, and you had Clay Thompson on the wing guarding everybody, and you also had Kevin Durant, who is 7 foot tall. And
Mm-hmm.
you had an Iguodala. Them days is over. But he don't want to adjust. This Kuminga situation should have never got to this point.
Nope.
No offense, I like Jimmy Butler, but they never needed Jimmy Butler because if they had to just let Kuminga do what Kuminga does,
He's
he
get be
doesn't
just
seem as Jimmy Butler.
yep.
Y'all had it at a younger version, not as consistent or as great as Jimmy Butler, but he's never gonna get that opportunity to get there because you don't play him. That's
Yep.
this situation with Kuminga is all Steve Kerr's fault.
You're not wrong. I'm with you when you're right.
It's all Steve Kerr's fault. This could have been avoided long time ago if they had to just show. If somebody said Steve Kerr now and said you gotta play him, point blank period. He's gonna mess up. He's gonna make some boneheaded decisions. We know it because I'm not trying to say like Jonathan Kuminga is just gonna be this Hall of Fame player. No, but Jonathan Kuminga, you watch Jonathan Kuminga, some place you look at him like, bro, what? You kind of forced that one, bro. You ain't have to do that. Or why you pick your dribble up right there? You ain't got no shot and you can't pass it. Like, don't get me wrong, he's gonna make mistakes, but he don't have the opportunity to play through those mistakes because in fact Steve Kerr give him the quick pull, and then Steve Kerr ain't played. Why? What did y'all think? Now you're not gonna get as much as you want for a trade with him because in fact nobody's seen him play in weeks,
We've only seen flashes.
and that's Kerr's fault. They should have let him go to Sacramento this year. I don't know why they didn't do it.
They should have, but I agree with you 100%. I think Steve should he maybe, but I think Steve Kerr is gonna be there until Steph Curry retires. I think Steph Curry got 3 more years,
Yeah, two.
2 more years.
Can't well after this year.
Yeah, so I think Steph Curry, this year and 2 more years, he'll probably hang him up. Then Steve Curry hang up, and they're just gonna have to do a complete reset because Draymond might go before Steph. He probably will. So
Draymond, that's your other problem, Dray. But no, they on the same. With their contracts end at the same time. Draymond getting paid $25 million a year.
yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, you got anything for John Morant? Rumors, he bought a house in Miami.
He going to Miami.
All right.
We like, you know what I mean. That's what we talked about with the Trey Young and the Wizards situation. We know he's going to Washington,
Yeah.
but how he get there?
Yeah.
But my only thing is, I don't know how that's going to work because you got Norman Powell, you gonna have Tyler Hero. I don't know who you.
Are you gonna have Tyler Hero? That's the only thing they really got that I feel like they willing to trade.
Do you want to? if you Memphis, do you want Tyler Hero back?
Not really, but what else does Miami got? Because they not trading Bam. Again, congratulations to Bam for becoming second all time in the Miami Heat. You like 9,000 or something. You got a long way to go before you catch Wade. Wade is at 21,556.
He
You at
might get there.
9,000.
He might get there. Probably not. But
No.
yeah, what do if? But I don't know if what does Memphis really want? Because I don't. You just see Trey Young. You just saw Trey Young got traded, and you ain't get no draft picks back. You basically got a expiring contract. You
Yeah.
got out of cap hell. If you Memphis, that's pretty much what you expecting to get back.
I get out of Cap Hill. All right, we'll see. All right, we will see. But that'll do it for another episode of From My Perspective. I'm your boy Dion. Again, please like, please subscribe, and leave a comment. What do you guys think about the Kuminga for Anthony Davis trade? You like it? Thumbs up or thumbs down in the comment section. Let me know. Hit that link in the bio. We have merch still. No, Martin Luther King Day is coming up. You won't get it for Martin Luther King Day, but I have a dream that you will buy some merch. Make my dream come true. Please and thank you. Again, like, subscribe. Before I send it off the queue, Dodgers again. We've been here before. Y'all gonna be the reason. Y'all gonna be the reason why there's a lockout.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just picked up Kyle Tucker, an outstanding outfield who batted 200, 266, 22 home runs, 73 RBIs, 133 hits. 4 years, $240 million, and he's deferring it. So he ain't gonna get it till like he's only gonna take a couple chump changes, and after it's over, he gonna pick it up later. Y'all gonna be the reason, bro. I did
Yeah,
see that the Mets offered him 220 over 4 years. Y'all just bumped it up 20 million, and he's different. When the lockout happens, y'all the reason. I just want to say that y'all the reason. Go ahead, take us home, Q.
man, you already know the best. It's your boy, Mr. Bell, aka say your name on the spot. Might not put you to mind. We get at y'all.